My secret relationship ended a year ago, but every time my husband kisses me, I remember what the other man said when I left him. Every time my husband kisses me, I hear another man's voice. You'll come back, he said. They always do. He was wrong. I didn't go back, but he's still here anyway, living rent-free in my head, poisoning every moment I should be grateful for. Let me start at the beginning, or at least the beginning of the end. His name was Evan. I met him at a work conference in Austin. I'd been married to my husband, Tom. For 9 years we had a good marriage, Nafik, but good, stable, comfortable. The kind of marriage where you stop saying, I love you, every day because it's implied. Where sex happens on weekends if we're not too tired. Where we watch TV together but scroll our phones at the same time. I wasn't looking for anything. That's what I told myself then, and it's what I'm still trying to believe now. But the truth is I was bored. Not dramatically unhappy. Just flat. Like I was living in grayscale and didn't even realize it until someone showed me color. Evan was a keynote speaker. Funny, charismatic, the kind of guy who commands a room without trying. We ended up at the hotel bar after his talk. He bought me a drink. We talked about work, then not work, then things that felt too personal for strangers but somehow felt natural with him. He touched my hand when he laughed. Just a brief touch, fingers on fingers, and I felt it everywhere. I should have left then. Gone back to my room, called Tom, remembered who I was, but I didn't. I stayed. Ordered another drink, leaned in closer when he talked, let myself imagine what it would be like to be wanted like this again. To be seen as more than just Tom's wife or the senior analyst in the third floor office. We talked until 2 a.m. Nothing happened that night, but we exchanged numbers, and that was the beginning. For 2 weeks it was just texting. Funny messages during the workday. Good morning texts that made my stomach flip. Late night conversations that went deeper than anything I'd had with Tom in years. I told myself it was harmless. Just a friendship, just someone who got me. Then he asked if I'd be at the quarterly meeting in Chicago. I wasn't scheduled to go, but I volunteered. Told Tom it was important for my career. He said he was proud of me. Helped me pack. I threw up in the airport bathroom from guilt and anticipation. Even met me in the hotel lobby. We had dinner, wine, more wine. He walked me back to my room and I knew, standing outside that door with my key card in my hand, that this was the moment, the line. Cross it and everything changes. Stay on this side and I could still be the person I thought I was. I invited him in. We slept together that night and I felt alive in a way I'd forgotten was possible. Like every nerve ending had been asleep for years and suddenly woke up screaming. He looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. Touched me like I was precious. Said things Tom hadn't said since our honeymoon. Afterwards, lying in those hotel sheets, I felt sick. Not physically, spiritually, like I'd stepped outside of my own body and was watching a stranger make catastrophic decisions. But then Evan kissed my shoulder and said, I've wanted this since the moment I met you. And I let the guilt dissolve into something that felt like justification. It should have been once. A mistake. A story I'd take to my grave. But it wasn't. We met 3 more times over the next 6 months. Different cities, always hotels, always the same rush of adrenaline and shame and desire that felt like addiction. I got good at lying, at creating work trips that didn't exist, at deleting messages and clearing browser histories, and being 2 completely different people depending on who was in the room. Tom never suspected. Why would he? I was still me. Still did the laundry and paid the bills and asked about his day. Still had sex with him when he initiated, though I started closing my eyes and pretending it was Evan. Started comparing everything Tom did to what Evan would do. Started mentally cataloging all the ways my husband was lacking. Tom was boring. Predictable. He wore the same 3 polo shirts in rotation, watched the same shows on repeat, made the same jokes, had the same opinions about everything. Even was exciting, different. He traveled and read books and had thoughts about art and philosophy and made me feel like I was interesting just for being near him. My best friend, Lisa, noticed something was off. Asked if everything was okay with Tom and me. I laughed it off. Said marriage was just hard sometimes. She gave me this look like she wanted to ask more but didn't want to pry. I changed the subject fast. Looking back, I wonder if she knew. If everyone knew and just didn't want to say anything. If I was broadcasting my affair in ways I couldn't see. The affair lasted 8 months total. 8 months of double lives and secret phones and feeling like I was the protagonist in some romantic drama instead of just another cheater following a script as old as marriage itself. Even started talking about leaving his girlfriend. He was in a long-term relationship too. I never asked much about her. Didn't want to think about her as a real person with feelings and a life I was helping to destroy. He said he was going to end it. That we should both end our relationships and be together for real. And I considered it. Actually sat in my car one night and imagined telling Tom I was leaving. Imagined his face, the questions, the pain. Imagined packing my things and moving in with Evan and starting over like the last 9 years were just practice for the real thing. But I couldn't do it, not because I was noble or moral, because I was scared. Scared of being the villain, scared of what my family would say, scared that Evan was just exciting because he was forbidden and would be just as boring as Tom once I actually had him. So I ended it instead. Told Evan it was over, that I couldn't leave my husband, that it was a mistake. We were in a hotel room in Denver, he'd flown in to see me. Had flowers and a bottle of expensive wine and plans for the weekend. I told him within the first 10 minutes of arriving. Didn't even take my coat off. He didn't yell, didn't beg, he just smiled. This slow, knowing smile that made my skin crawl. You'll come back, he said. They always do. You will. You're not happy with him. You're just scared. But you'll get tired of pretending. And when you do, I'll be here. He said it with such certainty, like he'd seen this movie before and knew exactly how it ended. Like I was just another woman making predictable choices on a predictable timeline. I left, flew home, crawled into bed next to Tom and cried so hard he woke up and asked what was wrong. I said I had a nightmare. He held me and stroked my hair and fell back asleep. And I lay there thinking about Evan's voice. They always do. That was a year ago. I haven't contacted Evan since. Haven't looked him up. Haven't gone to any conferences where I might run into him. I deleted his number and all our messages and tried to erase him from my life completely. But he's still here. Every time Tom kisses me, I hear Evan's voice. Every time we have sex, I compare it to those hotel rooms. Every time Tom does something kind or thoughtful or loving, I wonder why it doesn't feel like enough. Why I'm always measuring him against someone who was never real in the first place. I thought ending it would fix things. That I could just go back to my marriage and pretend the affair never happened and eventually it would fade like a bad dream. But it's been a year and if anything, it's gotten worse. I'm constantly anxious, waiting for it to come out. For someone to have seen us. For Evan to tell someone, for the bomb to drop and obliterate everything. Tom comments on how jumpy I am, how I always seem distracted. I blame work stress. He believes me because he always believes me. That's the worst part. He trusts me completely. Never checks my phone, never questions where I'm going, never doubts me for a second. And I took that trust and set it on fire and he doesn't even know to mourn it. We went to a wedding last month. Tom's college friend. During the ceremony they did the traditional vows, forsaking all others. I felt like everyone was looking at me, like those words were highlighted in neon specifically for me. Tom squeezed my hand and whispered, I can't wait for our 10th anniversary next year. I excused myself and threw up in the bathroom. Lisa cornered me at the reception, asked point blank if I was having an affair. Not having, present tense like she could sense it was still happening somehow. No, I said, and technically it was true, but it felt like a lie. You seem different, she said, distant, like you're not all the way here anymore. I'm fine, just stressed. She didn't believe me. I could see it in her face. But she let it go, and I went back to the table and smiled at Tom and pretended everything was normal. 3 months ago, Evan texted me from a new number. Just thinking about you. I blocked it immediately, but my hands shook for an hour, and that night when Tom touched me, all I could think about was Evan's hands, Evan's mouth, Evan's voice saying I'd come back. I haven't gone back, but I haven't moved forward either. I'm stuck in this limbo where I'm physically in my marriage but mentally still in those hotel rooms. Still chasing the feeling Evan gave me. Still convinced there's something better out there that I'm missing. Tom started talking about having kids last week. We'd always planned to. Just kept putting it off for careers and timing in life. He said he's ready now. Wants to start trying. And I panicked. Full-blown panic attack in the kitchen. Because how can I bring a child into this? How can I be someone's mother when I can barely be someone's wife? When I'm this corrupted, broken version of a person who pretends to be faithful while fantasizing about another man. Tom thought I was having a panic attack about motherhood, about changing my body and losing my identity and all the normal fears. He held me and said we didn't have to rush, that we could wait, that he just wanted me to be happy. I wanted to scream at him. Tio stop bm sati. To get angry. To suspect something. To do anything that would justify what I did. But he's just Tom, just steady, reliable, trusting Tom who thinks he has a steady, reliable, trustworthy wife. I thought about confessing. 100 times. The words get right to the edge of my mouth and then I swallow them back down. Because what would it accomplish? It's over. Evan's gone. Telling Tom would only hurt him. Would blow up our marriage for something that's already ended. That's what I tell myself. But really, I'm just a coward, terrified of consequences, terrified of seeing the love in his eyes die. Last week, I drove past the hotel where Evan and I first slept together. It was closed for renovations, windows boarded up, half the sign missing, and I felt this irrational grief, like they were erasing physical evidence of the time I felt most alive, which is insane, because that time was a lie, built on betrayal and fantasy and the thrill of doing something wrong. It wasn't real, but it felt more real than anything else, and I don't know how to reconcile that. Tom suggested couples therapy yesterday. Said he feels like we're disconnected, that we should work on our communication before we have kids, that he wants us to be stronger. I agreed, made an appointment, and I'm terrified because what if the therapist sees through me? What if they ask the right questions and I crack? What if Tom finally understands that the distance he feels isn't about communication but about the fact that his wife is a liar who's been living a double life? The appointment is next week, and I keep thinking about Evan's voice. You'll come back, they always do. I won't go back, I can't go back. But he was right about one thing, I'm not all the way here either. I'm trapped between two lives. The one I chose and the one I gave up, and I'm realizing too late that you can't actually have both. That trying to keep a foot in each world just means you're fully present in neither. Tom deserves better. Deserves someone who's all in. Who doesn't compare him to affair partners. Who doesn't hear another man's voice during intimate moments. Who isn't constantly waiting for the past to catch up. But I can't give him that. Can't even give him the truth. So instead, I'm giving him this half version of me. This hollowed out wife who goes through the motions while replaying the same 8 months on a loop. And the worst part, the absolutely unbearable part, is that I miss it. Miss Evan. Miss feeling wanted and exciting and new. Miss the version of myself that existed in those hotel rooms. Even though I know that version was a lie. Even though I know it destroyed something real for something temporary. I catch myself checking my phone constantly, hoping for another text from a blocked number. Hoping Evan will reach out again so I can prove to myself that I'm strong enough to ignore him. Or maybe hoping he'll reach out so I have an excuse to answer. I don't know anymore. Don't know what I want or who I am or how to fix any of this. I just know that every time my husband kisses me, I hear another man's voice, and I'm starting to think that voice will never go away. That this is just my life now. The punishment I earned, the consequence I can't escape. Tom is in the shower right now, singing off key like he always does. He'll come out and kiss my forehead and ask what I want for dinner, and I'll smile and answer and pretend everything is fine. But in my head I'll hear Evan's voice. You'll come back. They always do. And I'll wonder, like I do every single day, if he's right. The couple's therapy lasted exactly 3 sessions before I stopped going. Tom still goes alone. That should tell you everything you need to know about where this is headed. The first session, the therapist asked us to describe our relationship. Tom talked about stability and partnership and wanting to deepen our connection. I said all the right things, used words like growth and communication and vulnerability. The therapist ate it up. Tom squeezed my hand. I wanted to die. Second session, we did an exercise about trust. Had to look into each other's eyes and say what we appreciated about each other. Tom went first. Talked about my loyalty, my dedication, how he never doubted me for a second, how safe I made him feel. I excused myself to the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes. When I came back, I lied and said I had a migraine. Tom drove me home and made me tea and rubbed my temples, and I sat there letting him care for me while internally screaming. Third session. The therapist asked me directly, "Do you feel like you're being honest in this relationship?" The room went silent. Tom looked at me with these open, trusting eyes, waiting for me to reassure him, to say of course, always, completely. I said yes, and the lie tasted like poison. After that session, Tom said he felt like we were making progress, that he could feel me opening up. I told him I needed to skip the next few appointments because of work. He was disappointed but understanding. Said we could reschedule. I never did. Just kept making excuses. Work trips, deadlines. Eventually he stopped asking and started going alone. Working on himself, he said, trying to be a better husband, trying to figure out what he was doing wrong. Nothing, he's doing nothing wrong. That's the problem. 6 months after I ended things with Evan, I saw him, not in person, in a LinkedIn post that someone from the conference circuit shared. He'd gotten promoted, was moving to New York. The post had a picture of him looking successful and happy and completely unaffected by our affair. I stared at that picture for 45 minutes. Then I typed out a congratulations message, deleted it, typed it again, deleted it again. Did this about 7 times before finally closing the app and throwing my phone across the room. It shattered. Screen completely destroyed. Tom asked what happened. I said it slipped. He ordered me a new one without question. Didn't even ask why I was crying. The new phone came with a clean slate, no old messages, no saved contacts, no evidence of anything. But Evan's number was still in my head, still burned into my memory like a brand. I could type it right now without thinking. Muscle memory. I haven't, but I could. And knowing I could is almost worse than actually doing it. Tom's sister got married 8 months after I ended the affair. Big wedding, his whole family there, they love me. Think I'm perfect for him. His mom pulled me aside at the reception and said, "Thank you for making my son so happy. I've never seen him like this." I excused myself and had a panic attack in the coat check. Lisa found me. She wasn't part of the wedding party but came as my +1 for moral support. She took one look at me hyperventilating and said, "You need to tell him." "Tell him what?" "Whatever it is you're hiding, it's eating you alive." "I'm not hiding anything." "Bullshit." She grabbed my shoulders. "I've known you for 15 years. I know when you're lying, and you've been lying about something for over a year now. Tell him. Tell someone. But stop pretending everything is fine when you're clearly falling apart." I didn't tell her. Didn't tell anyone. Just pulled myself together and went back to the reception and danced with Tom and pretended I was a normal wife at a normal wedding living a normal life. But Lisa was right. It is eating me alive. Every day a little bit more. Tom and I had sex last night for the first time in 3 weeks. He initiated, was sweet about it, romantic, lit candles and everything. And halfway through I started crying, not quite tears, sobbing, couldn't catch my breath. He stopped immediately, panicked, asked what was wrong, if he hurt me, if I was okay. And I couldn't explain it. Couldn't say that I was crying because he was being loving and I didn't deserve it. Because every touch reminded me of touches that weren't his. Because I felt like a fraud in my own bed. So I said I was overwhelmed. Emotional. He held me until I stopped crying, then he got up and made me chamomile tea and told me we didn't have to do anything I wasn't comfortable with. That he loved me no matter what. I drank the tea and hated myself more than I thought was possible. This morning he left for a week-long work trip. Sales conference in San Diego. He asked if I wanted to come. Make it a vacation. I said no. Too much work. The second he left, I deep cleaned the entire house. Scrubbed every surface. Organized every closet. Trying to clean something, anything, because I can't clean my own conscience. Then I sat on the bathroom floor and Googled, "How to tell your husband you cheated." Read through Reddit threads and advice columns and stories from other women who'd been where I am. Most of them said don't tell. That confessing is selfish. That it only serves to alleviate your guilt while destroying him. But some said tell. That living with the secret is worse than dealing with the consequences. That he deserves to make an informed choice about his life. I don't know which is right. Don't know if there is a right answer. Just know that both options feel like walking into traffic. Lisa stopped talking to me 2 months ago. I missed her birthday dinner. Third event I'd bailed on in a row. She sent me a text that said, "I can't watch you self-destruct anymore. When you're real then, I need space." I haven't called. What would I even say? Tom's parents invited us for Thanksgiving. I made an excuse about work. Tom went alone. Came back and said his family missed me. Asked if everything was okay. I said fine. Just busy, he's not stupid, I see him watching me sometimes. This confused look on his face like he's trying to solve a puzzle but missing a crucial piece. But he doesn't push, doesn't demand answers. Just keeps being patient and kind in everything I don't deserve. Last week I drove to a bar 3 towns over, somewhere I'd never been, where no one knew me, sat at the bar and ordered whiskey and let a guy buy me a drink. He was nice. Asked my name, what I did, if I came here often. I let him flirt. Let him touch my arm. Let him lean in close. And I felt nothing. No excitement. Just emptiness and disgust at myself for even being there. For even entertaining the idea. I left without finishing my drink. Blocked his number before I even got to my car. The holidays are coming. Tom wants to host Christmas this year. Have both our families over. Make it special. I agreed because I can't keep saying no to everything without raising suspicion. But the idea of performing happy wife for 2 families makes me want to disappear. I think about leaving sometimes. Not for Evan. Not for anyone. Just leaving in my car and driving until I run out of gas or money or will to keep going, starting over somewhere no one knows me, where I don't have to carry this weight. But I don't. Because I'm a coward, and because Tom would be devastated, and because running wouldn't fix anything, I'd still be me, still carry this poison wherever I went. I saw Evan's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, on Instagram last month. Someone tagged her in a photo. She looks happy, has a new boyfriend. Looks like she dodged a bullet and landed on her feet. I felt simultaneous relief and jealousy. Relief that she moved on, jealousy that she got to move on while I'm stuck in this purgatory. Tom's been asking about kids again. Says his biological clock is ticking. Makes jokes about it, but I can tell he's serious. He wants a family, wants to be a father, and I can't give him that. Can't bring a child into this mess. Can't be pregnant and lying. Can't give birth to a baby while carrying this secret. So I've been secretly on birth control. He thinks we're trying. I let him believe we're trying. Another lie in the pile. My performance review at work was brutal. My boss said my work has been inconsistent, that I seem distracted, that my numbers are down. I used to be good at my job, great, even. Now I can barely focus long enough to finish a simple task. I got passed over for a promotion I was supposed to be a shoehorn for. They gave it to someone with half my experience. My boss pulled me aside after and asked if everything was okay at home. I said fine. He looked like he didn't believe me. Tom threw me a surprise birthday party last month. Invited all my friends, coworkers, family, everyone I'd been avoiding. It was his attempt to snap me out of whatever funk he thinks I'm in, to remind me I'm loved and valued and not alone. I smiled through the whole thing, cut the cake, opened presents, gave thank you hugs, and felt nothing but crushing guilt and the desire to run. Lisa came. We barely spoke. She gave me a card that said, "Here when you're ready," and left early. I cried in the bathroom after reading it. The party was keeps asking if I had fun, if I felt loved, if it helped. I say yes. He looks relieved, and I hate myself more. I've started having nightmares about Evan showing up at our house, about Tom finding out, about everyone I know standing in a circle pointing at me while I try to explain and nothing comes out. I wake up sweating and gasping and Tom asks if I'm okay and I lie and say it was just a bad dream about work. He started sleeping in the guest room sometimes, says my nightmares keep waking him up, says he needs rest for his job. I told him I understood, was relieved actually. Easier to fall apart alone than to perform composure. Last night he came into the bedroom at 2 a.m., sat on the edge of the bed, didn't turn on the lights, just said, "I don't know what I did wrong, but whatever it is, I'm sorry, I love you, I just want you to be happy again." Then he went back to the guest room. I laid there staring at the ceiling, thinking about his words. Whatever I did wrong. Like this is his fault. Like he's the problem. When the truth is he's done everything right and I'm the one who destroyed us. I almost went to him, almost crawled in that guest bed and confessed everything. Let the fallout happen. Let the consequences land. But I couldn't move, paralyzed by cowardice. This morning there was coffee made and a note on the counter. "Have a good day. Love you," in his handwriting like every other morning. Like nothing's wrong. I poured the coffee down the sink and cried until I couldn't breathe. Tom comes home from San Diego tomorrow. He's been texting me pictures. The beach, his hotel, his conference badge. Normal couple things. I've been responding with emojis and short messages. He doesn't seem to notice that I haven't actually said anything in 3 days. I don't know what happens next. Don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Don't know if Tom will eventually figure it out or if I'll crack first or if we'll just limp along like this forever. Married but not really married. Together but not really together. What I do know is that Evan was right. Not about me going back, but about the always. They always do. He said always come back. Always repeat the pattern. Always choose the easy way over the hard truth. I haven't gone back to even. But I haven't moved forward either. I'm stuck, frozen in the moment I made the choice, replaying it endlessly, wishing I could undo it, knowing I can't. Every time my husband kisses me, I hear another man's voice, and it's not getting quieter, it's not fading, it's getting louder, more insistent. A reminder that I'm not who Tom thinks I am, that our marriage is built on a lie, that every day I don't tell him is another day I'm choosing myself over his right to know the truth. Tom wants to renew our vows for our 10th anniversary next year. He mentioned it last week, said he wants to recommit to celebrate how far we've come, to promise each other another 10 years. I said it sounded nice. He's already looking at venues. And I'm already planning how to get out of it, how to delay it, how to avoid standing in front of our families and friends and promising to be faithful when I've already broken that promise in hotel rooms across 3 different states. The irony isn't lost on me. Tom wants to celebrate our marriage. I'm trying to figure out how to survive it. Lisa texted me yesterday, just "I miss you." I didn't respond because if I talk to her she'll ask questions, and if she asks questions I might answer, and if I answer everything falls apart. So I stay silent, stay stuck, stay married to a man who loves a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. If she ever did. Tom just texted. His flight lands in 2 hours. Asked if I wanted anything from California. I said no. He sent back a heart emoji. I'm sitting in our bedroom, the bedroom where we've slept together for 9 years, where he proposed, where we've had lazy Sunday mornings and whispered conversations and built a life that looks perfect from the outside. And I'm thinking about Evan's voice. "You'll come back." They always do. I didn't go back, but I never really left either. I'm still there in those hotel rooms, still chasing the feeling, still comparing everything Tom does to what Evan did, still poisoning my marriage with memories of something that was never real in the first place. Tom deserves to know, deserves to make a choice about whether he wants to stay with someone like me, deserves honesty even if it destroys everything. But I won't tell him. I know I won't. I'll keep lying, keep pretending, keep kissing him while hearing another man's voice. Keep letting him plan vow renewals and baby nurseries and futures that are built on foundations that cracked a year ago and never got repaired. Because the truth is, I'm not brave enough to face consequences, not strong enough to watch him hurt, not willing to give up the life I have, even if I'm miserable in it for the uncertainty of what comes after. So I'll just keep existing in this half-life, this limbo between the person I was and the person I became. Between the marriage I promised and the betrayal I committed. Between the love Tom gives and the love I threw away for 8 months in hotel rooms with a man who knew exactly what to say to make me feel special. In 2 hours, Tom will walk through that door. He'll hug me, kiss me, tell me he missed me, hug him back, pretend everything is fine, and in my head I'll hear Evan's voice, like I do every single day, every single moment, every single time my husband touches me. You'll come back, they always do. He was wrong about me going back, but he was right about one thing. Once you cross that line, you can never really come back from it. You're changed, marked, living in the shadow of your own choices, and that shadow follows you everywhere, darkening everything it touches, reminding you with every breath that you had something real, and you traded it for something temporary and now you have neither. Just the echo of a voice you can't forget and a husband who deserves better than the ghost you've become.